therefore you have demand for MBA operations in all kinds of industries. It's not just that वो कुछ मैन्युफैक्चर कर रहा है तभी जाके वहाँ पे ऑपरेशंस का रोल हो सकता है. There is something called a procurement cycle. Right? Now what is that procurement cycle?
सर ये ऑपरेशंस के लिए कौन फिट है? मैथमेटिकल बेंट ऑफ माइंड ज़रूरी है, MBA ज़रूरी मतलब इंजीनियर ज़रूरी है, नॉन इंजीनियर चल जाएगा क्या? आपको सर करियर ही यही रहे थ्रू लाइफ?
In a traditional way, engineers are preferred. But if
वेलकम ऑन बोर्ड. एक MBA का बहुत ही बड़ा स्ट्रीम है जिसका नाम है ऑपरेशंस MBA. इट्स द मोस्ट, आई वुड से इट्स द लीस्ट टॉक्ड अबाउट MBA व्हिच इज कॉल्ड ऑपरेशंस. But as Amazon, Flipkart, all these online businesses, niches of the world work faster, the more number of clicks happen and the faster delivery happens, it all happens because of operations. Today I've got with me Director of IBA Bangalore and a Professor of Supply Chain Management of IBA, Subhendu sir. Hi Subhendu sir, welcome on board. Sir, pleasure meeting you sir today.
Same here.
And sir is a PhD from AMU and also alumnus of IIM Kozhikode. आज हम सर से जानेंगे सर ऑपरेशंस क्या है, ये लीन मैनेजमेंट क्या होता है, इसका फायदा क्या है, किसको करना चाहिए, इसके थ्रू क्या क्या रोल मिल सकते हैं टू ऑल आवर जनरेशन ऑफ नियरली 500,000 यूट्यूब फैमिली. प्लीज एक्सप्लेन अस सर व्हाट इज एन ऑपरेशंस MBA.
Okay, since you spoke about lean management, so let me start with that. But before that, let me give a little background of supply chain management. Let me first talk about that, and then I'll bring it back to lean management. So let's look at it this way. You know, you've got, you're a manufacturer. You're manufacturing, let's say, garments. Now, how do you manufacture garments? So some raw materials would be required. So where do you get the raw materials from? So there will be some supplier who is giving you the raw material. That supplier may also have his own supplier. So on one side, you've got the manufacturer, supplier, and so on and so forth. And then, why are you making this? You're manufacturing that because you wanted to sell it to a customer.
True.
So he is your end user.
Yeah.
Now, how do you sell it to the customer? You cannot go and directly sell it to the customer. It's possible, but largely it's not possible because then you'll have to go through certain channels. So you would require a distributor, the distributor would have a retailer, the retailer would sell it to the customer, and that's the channel
the whole
that we
chain,
have. Right. Now, if you look at this, so let me take the example of Coca-Cola. अब Coca-Cola तो सबको बहुत पसंद है. आपको मालूम है कितने Coca-Cola units बिकते हैं in a given day?
No idea.
2.2 billion.
2.2 billion?
2.2 billion.
Wow.
Every day.
Wow.
Coca-Cola कितने कंट्रीज में प्रेजेंट है?
All 196 कितना नंबर चल रहा है अभी?
जितने भी है 200.
Yeah, wow.
200 कंट्रीज में वो
cookies being sold. Wow.
It's there. You know, it all started about 139. अभी तक 139 कंप्लीट नहीं हुआ है. This May it'll be completing 139. 1886 to be precise. So there was, there was a pharmacist who actually invented a kind of a mixture which he used to mix with the soda. And those days, people thought that soda has some health benefits. आपको मालूम है initially with lot of struggle, per day कितना सेल होता था? 9 units.
Okay.
आज कितना हो रहा है? 2.2
Wow.
billion. So ये 139 years का जर्नी अगर हम लोग देखें, एक US के शहर से पूरे वर्ल्ड में फैल गया है ये प्रोडक्ट. Now how do you think the manufacturer is able to manage this entire chain where he is going from, one small place to the entire world
and delivering the same taste?
Of course, there are a few changes, based on the local preferences, sweetness वगैरह वो change हो जाता है. So therefore, supply chain comes into action.
Nice.
And in this, if you look at it, Now again, coming back in very simple terms, because your students would like to understand the concept in a very simple manner. So अगर हम लोग इसको बहुत simple terms में देखें तो what do we find? There is something called a procurement cycle. Right? Now what is that procurement cycle? As a manufacturer, you are procuring from your suppliers.
Correct.
Right? So between the supplier and the manufacturer, there is this procurement cycle.
जी.
उसके बाद क्या आता है? Manufacturing cycle आता है, of course.
सामान लेके आए, फिर उसको अपन ने मैन्युफैक्चर किया.
मैन्युफैक्चर कर लिया. अब मैन्युफैक्चर करने के बाद आप उसको डिस्ट्रीब्यूटर के पास
बेचेंगे. राइट.
अब डिस्ट्रीब्यूटर के पास क्या होगा? He has to have certain quantity. So वो replenishment cycle आ जा रहा है.
अच्छा.
Right. And then when he gives it to the retailer, so a customer order cycle happens.
Right.
Otherwise, how does the retailer know मुझे कितना चाहिए?
Understood.
And then the customer gets it. So it's a very interesting thing. And you said that it's the least spoken thing. I would say that it's the most important thing in the entire business.
True.
It has every dimension of business that you can look at.
Operation is the backbone of any industry, right?
It is
the backbone. अगर जो वो hardcore machine is operations, right sir? वो machine के अंदर जो माल बन के आ रहा है operations का one part of it, right?
हाँ, अगर आप services में है तो machine को आप निकाल सकते हैं, but then
true.
But then the services that you're delivering is also you can equate it to a product.
Yeah.
Right. So
सर operations services में आपने बहुत अच्छा point किया सर. Banking में operations क्या होगा? Education में operations क्या होगा? Let's give an example of banking. There are many jobs like JP Morgan Chase which comes to many campuses. So I was reading it through our reports. So EY, Deloitte, they also come on campus. वो एक operations का role देते हैं. वहाँ पे क्या operations हो सकता है?
So again, जैसे मैंने बताया, operations में बहुत सारे roles हो सकते हैं. So you can have roles on your, let us say the retailers के तरफ से एक different type का role होगा. Services industry में एक different type का role हो जाएगा. So you spoke about banking industry. Banking industry में एक different type का role हो जाएगा. Right. So therefore you have demand for MBA operations in all kinds of industries. It's not just that वो कुछ manufacture कर रहा है तभी जाके वहाँ पे operations का role हो सकता है.
And sir, how do the Lean Six Sigma plagues in? I come from GE. I was in GE for 5 years.
Oh, wonderful.
So yeah, so our DNA Six Sigma, वो green belt करवाते हैं, फिर next फिर I think last was like master black belt वगैरह करवाते हैं वो लोग. फिर जबरदस्ती Jack Welch का philosophy था. And वो क्या fund है sir? If you can explain them, I can also talk about it, but we want to learn from the horse mouth.
Okay. Now let me just break this into two parts. Lean Six Sigma. Let me break it into two parts. One is, let's say, the lean management. The other one is Six Sigma. Now, very quickly, lean management, there are two concepts to it. I will focus on one concept, which is just in time. Now, what is just in time? Just in time is what is needed, when is it needed, and in exact quantity that is needed. That's all. If you can understand this in very simple terms, that is what JIT is all about. आपको मालूम है ये just in time का concept actually कहाँ से आया था? This actually came from American superstores.
Okay.
So वहाँ होता ये था कि कुछ भी चीज जब खत्म हो रहा है शेल्फ में, so immediate replenishment होता था. So which is basically a precursor to what just in time is all about. So this is one part of lean management which is extremely important.
तो मतलब आपने वॉलमार्ट में गए, वॉलमार्ट में आपने PNG का कोई प्रोडक्ट उठाया, हेड एंड शोल्डर शैम्पू, वो निकालते ही फैक्ट्री को मैसेज चला गया और उसने उस समय वो बनाना शुरू किया, राइट? और बाय द वे कस्टमर के घर पहुंचे, वो शेल्फ खाली रहेगा, कल सुबह तक वो आपका शेल्फ रिप्लेनिश हो जाएगा.
हाँ, सो वो शायद वो बनाना शुरू तब ना करे, थोड़ा आपने बनाना शुरू किया, वो थोड़ा सा साइकिल को पीछे लेके गए हैं, तो वो ऑर्डर जो रिप्लेनिश हो रहा है, which means that there is an inventory which is just right to replenish it at that point in time.
Perfect. मतलब खाली नहीं रहे, अगला
खाली नहीं रहेगा.
मतलब अगर 10 शैम्पू उड़े हैं वहां से, 100 में से या 20 में से, तो you know at 50%, तो भाई 5 तो वहां पे आ जाने चाहिए कल सुबह तक.
Yes.
उसी टाइम के अंदर.
हाँ.
और इन्फॉर्मेशन उसको पहुंचाना बहुत जरूरी है.
पहुंच जाएगा so that quantity comes in.
Understood.
So the other part, of course, is the very famous Six Sigma. Now, when Motorola came up with Six Sigma, there is some statistics which says that in 10 years post implementation of Six Sigma in Motorola, the labor productivity went up by 204%.
Wow.
Now, that is something phenomenal.
Right.
अभी मेरे को जब मैं सिक्स सिग्मा पढ़ता हूँ या पढ़ाता हूँ, one thing which always strikes me is what Phil Crosby had said in his book, Quality is Free. Now, what he means about quality is free is that, if you can make something really good quality the first time, then you do not have to spend time fixing it or replacing it when the customer comes back with a faulty product back to you. So what does it mean? Your after sales services comes down. Your losses in terms of replacing a faulty product comes down. So that is how he says quality is free. This is pretty much similar to what the Six Sigma is all about. So I'll give you an example, Smith. One of the companies which employed Lean Six Sigma very early was Xerox. Now, in the first year of its implementation itself, toner पे उन लोगों ने कितना सेव किया?
No idea, sir.
USD 2.4 lakh. Just toner पे.
2.4 lakh USD. Wow.
In toners.
Wow.
मैं एक और उसमें statistics देता हूँ आपको. They saved 1 million USD, and I'm talking about 2003. They saved 1 million USD by just making some changes in their software so that they could get the translations in foreign languages done, and in that process they saved 1 million USD.
Wow. Crazy, sir.
So if you look at, I can give you some more statistics about Xerox in terms of their ROI, etc. Now, there are multiple benefits that you can see in Lean Six Sigma.
करते क्या है सर? Lean मतलब क्या है क्या मतलब?
हाँ. So अगर आप देखोगे Lean में क्या होता है ना, वो एकदम बहुत सिंपल टर्म्स है. आप वेस्ट नहीं करने देते हो चीजों को. ठीक है. अब वेस्ट कैसे नहीं करने देते हो? Say for example, one of the things what Toyota has come up with is, it says that you are not going to waste any time when you find that there is a problem with the production. So which basically means हम लोग क्या करते हैं usually, अगर कुछ कहीं पे कोई problem है, we do not stop the line immediately. We try to find out a solution, but that becomes costly. So that is the crux of.
तो वो क्या बोलते हैं? बंद कर दो समय.
So stop it, address it, and then again start working on it. This has given them rich dividends.
Understood, sir. बढ़िया. Sir, last, I know you're a busy guy, but I'm going to let you go. But one last question, sir. Sir, ये operations के लिए कौन fit है? Mathematical bent of mind जरूरी है, MBA जरूरी, मतलब इंजीनियर जरूरी है, नॉन इंजीनियर चल जाएगा क्या? आपको सर करियर यही रहा है throughout life?
Okay, in a traditional way, engineers are preferred. But if your understanding of quant is good, if you can analyze stuff really well, then you can take up MBA operations, and it's a wonderful career to make. Let's say one of the very key activities that happens is planning. In that entire supply chain process, one of the very key this thing is planning. Now,
कब माल कहाँ से आएगा, किधर जाएगा, क्या होने वाला है?
Exactly. So what are you doing basically in planning? You're forecasting demand. Right? One of the key things. अगर आप forecast कर रहे हो demand, So if you have a great, command over quant, over stats, you can become an analyst.
Understood.
And that could be one of the higher paying jobs if you can really land up there. So therefore, if you look at this entire process, it's not just that engineers are, are a must, but if you've got some
edge over it, it's always
bent of mind, you can really do well.
So amazing, sir. Any parting thoughts to all our great people listening to us, sir? ये सब 20-21 साल के हैं. The life which you have lived, you're an alumni of IIM Kozhikode, right now director of business school. भाई कुछ लोग सर मेरे कॉलेज जाएंगे SPJain बॉम्बे, कुछ आपके alma mater Kozhikode जाएंगे, कुछ आपके पास पढ़ रहे होंगे IBA. I want them to excel. One parting thoughts to all my 20-21-year-olds who are listening to us right now. Just one.
Can I take up from the last point that I spoke about, which was on planning?
Sure.
I have in my long career, seen one small thing that people do not really spend a lot of time on planning. Now, to me, planning is not tough. Planning is not something which is, which should not be done. Now, what happens is people avoid planning because it is tedious. And by avoiding a tedious thing, usually people do not do the work in the best possible manner in which it can be done.
Sure.
So therefore, my simple take on this is, whatever work you're doing, plan it properly. Spend a little time planning it, and you will find that your execution becomes much easier.
Alright, this is so amazing. Boys and girls, do hit the like button for sure. और मुझे comment करके अपना profile बताइए. क्या आपका प्रोफाइल है, क्या आपका वर्क एक्सपीरियंस है कि नहीं, एंड आर यू द रियल फिट फॉर ऑपरेशन MBA और नॉट, विल डिस्कस इट मोर. और जिसका इंटरेस्ट है ऑपरेशन के अंदर, यहाँ कोई इस बार एडमिशन दे चुका है, यहाँ लेने वाला है इन एनी ऑफ द टॉप बिजनेस स्कूल्स एंड इज गोइंग टू परस्यू ऑपरेशंस, मुझे कमेंट करिएगा, हम उसके बारे में बात करेंगे. थैंक यू सो मच सर फॉर स्पेंडिंग टाइम विद अस.
थैंक यू सो मच.
प्लेजर मीटिंग यू सर. टेक केयर.
Same here.
All boys and girls, do the like button. See you there. Bye bye.